I can't wait for the day that there is no more film. I hate to say that as a filmmaker, but it's, and the reason I'm saying that is now the digital cameras and projection are finally starting to all mesh together. Up until now, we had, you know, HD wasn't quite there, so definitely film was the way to go. But now there's the new, you know, Sony Genesis 444 high-def cameras, and I've seen, you know, tests with these, and it's one-to-one with film, and you don't have to deal with scanning and neg cutting and editing and all, you know, just carrying these cans around. I mean, it's basically becomes a digital entity on a tape or a hard drive, and you plug it in, and it's there for everybody to enjoy and work on. and you don't have to just deal with color lookup tables. There's lots of other associated things with film that just becomes a technical nightmare, and which you have to sort of deal with first before you actually start making the film. Now you don't have to deal with that as much. It's sort of all going to be all set up, and, you know, hopefully you can just have some nice pipelines now that these things can come through rather quickly. Once the digital cameras come into play and digital projection and film goes away, it's going to open up even broader, because now you're not bound by, you know, just the film camera itself and all the problems associated with it and getting to places. Now, you know, digital cameras, just like, you know, computers, Walkmans, whatever, are just going to get smaller and smaller, where film cameras couldn't get smaller. They were bound by the size of that film, so they had to stay, you know, the big reels and all that. But digital cameras can, you know, eventually get down smaller and smaller, and you're going to be able to do outrageous camera moves. You know, you'll be able to do things with, you know, digital beam splitters, where you can, you know, have mats pulled automatically through infrared, you know, lenses, and so just in terms of filming things, and you know, where every film is going to become a major visual effects movie, but you won't have to worry about it as much. You know, it's half the stuff will come along for free. So, and that's the cool thing about just digital filmmaking in general, is that I was at the crossover when it went from sort of traditional effects and traditional opticals into digital. I sort of bridged that gap, and you could see where optical filmmaking was at a standstill. It couldn't go anywhere else. I mean, you were just pushing it to its limits, and, you know, you just had the big printers, and film could only go so far, and you could only stick so many filters in front of a film, you know, in front of film before it was black. With digital now, it's, you know, you can do anything you want to do. I mean, you could create anything and go anywhere, and just a matter of how fast computers are, and, you know, the best software. Star Wars Episode 3, I don't know that much about it, but I've read a few articles, and it sounds like it's going to be a sort of a deeper and darker version of the Star Wars movies. And now, I think Star Wars had a natural progression. For me personally, it got a little too comical with all the sort of crazy, you know, space characters. Hopefully this is going to get a bit more down to the story, and I think it's dealing with Darth Vader, and it seems like there could be a very interesting story in his life and how he sort of came to being.